Hello, 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 hello. Please take your seats, then we can start.
Okay, then we do the demo first, and then you ask me. The gifts for them. So we have two of your chocolates, and there are these two boxes left. So we can give those. And that's all? Sorry? What is what? The gifts for them. Yes. So there are four people. Can we do that afterwards? Go up to the person so it's not so obvious? That it's different? I don't think it. No. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it's fine. Maybe to Gildo, we can give him the AIIC mug, so it's AIIC branded as well. Yeah. Okay. And who's the other one? Huh? Gildo and. So the speakers are 4, okay? So you give 1, 2, and 2. I mean, you decide randomly. Okay, and to Gildo, we give him also the mug because he has he's the only outside AIIC. Okay. Okay? All right.
I feel really bad about.
Hello, hello. Can you please take a seat? We are starting, please.
Okay.
Come in, come in, come in.
We need to wrap this conversation up. Okay, just so after Gildo makes his presentation. Are we ready or what? Yeah. Okay. So we're going to resume our afternoon or end of the day activities. Gildo has prepared something for us based on some of the questions we asked him, and actually, he said he was going to have a short presentation on an AI agent, which we didn't really know what it meant when we first started talking to him. But yesterday, when we came here to test, we were surprised to know that he had more than prepared an agent to share with us. He has prepared a small gift for us, just to give an idea of what can be done. And I'm not going to say anything else.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. You have some? Great. So I'm going to share with you, I'm going to do a little demo of AI agents. We were just discussing about agents, and then we mentioned briefly about specifically AI agents. I have prepared basically 3 agents here, but as I'm going through them, I'd like to make a request to all of you. while we go through each and of these workflows here, each of the agents, I just want you to think for a while and imagine, what if I could do something like this for my own personal use case? What if I could have an agent to do something more or less like this? And just to mention that everything you will see here are not full production ready, right? They are just little demo, so we have an idea of what an AI agent can do for us. So the first agent I'd like to introduce to you is this guy right here, the lead agent. And please don't focus that much on the platforms I'm using here. These are just tools. And just like this one, there are many others that we can use. This is actually a no-code platform, so even non-tech person can use this easily, can play around and create something cool. So what this agent does, it does a lead triage. So it receives an email inquiry, for instance, and then it extracts key fields from this email and populates this spreadsheet. It could be any other CRM platform, right? It populates the company name, the company, the contact name, contact email, summary, and each and every one of these cells is going to be populated. And the inquiry can be something as simple as this one. Just take a few seconds to, I don't know if you can read. Yeah, so the body email. Let's suppose we receive an email saying, hello, we are organizing a conference in Barcelona on 2 to 3 of April. We need English and French interpreters. Please advise availability and the quote. Best, Laura, Bright Events, and then we have the email address of this person that just sends this email. This tool I'm using here is just a tool to simulate a request, right? But of course, in production side, it would be straight from an email inbox. So I'm going to run the agent, and once I send that email inquiry, the agent will extract key fields and will populate this spreadsheet. Let's do it quickly. Run, and I will send. And as you can see here,
so Judo, you're forwarding the email you received to that
to the agent, exactly. Yeah.
Can you just repeat what I said?
Yeah, so the question was, am I forwarding the email I just received to the tool, the agent, specifically speaking? And this is it. We have everything populated. We have the name, we have the email address, we have the summary, we have the event dates, location, language, meeting format, priority, next steps, and we have missing info. So the AI was even able to notice the missing info, and you already drafted for us here, so we can check and quickly see like, okay, this and that information is missing. And then we have the raw text. The raw text is the exact email body that we just received. So it's populated, and we can do it with like many different email inquiries that we receive. This is basically all that this agent does. But just to show you quickly here, it doesn't do it just for the sake of doing. It doesn't do it automatically. If you see here, I have this Google Gemini AI. This is actually the brain, right? Just as Google Gemini, I could have here a GPT from ChatGPT. I could have open source models like DeepSeek or anything, any other LLM that I would want. And inside here, I have prompts. I have user prompts and I have system prompts. Just to show quickly, user prompt is how, or system prompt is how I want the AI to behave, right? And this is a simple prompt that I pass it here. You are a sales and CRM assistant. Return structured JSON only. Never add commentary or formatting.
Jason?
Yeah, it's just a data structure format. So I can send, for instance, this thing here, open curly bracket and close, this is a JSON. So this is just a way that AI will output the result, right? And here on the user prompt, I told him exactly what he should look, what he should extract from the email, right? From the data that he receives. I want him to extract the current year, the inquiry text. I'm explicitly telling him to not to add commentary, exact key information that I want him to extract, event date, pretty much everything that we see or we saw on the spreadsheet, right? He just mapped everything and extracted exactly. If I remove all of this, then, and let him on the loose, he will not know what to do and will start to, like inventing things, like hallucinating. That's not what we want. So this is highly controlled agent. We tell him exactly what to do, and he does it exactly as we say. This is a spreadsheet we are updating, and this is what he would do in case there is an error. So this is basically what this agent does. Now we have another agent that builds on top of this one, which is the follow-up guy. So we have all this information, and now what to do with the follow-up. So we were, just a few minutes ago, we were talking about this, and we have a lot of controversy about the email drafts, follow-ups, and whatnot. But this is exactly what this does. I'm going to run it. Once I run, that agent will update the state of the same spreadsheet and pasts here the follow-up drafted out of all this context. I'm going to explain you. He will go to that spreadsheet. Let me just show you what I am going to send. This is what I'm going to send to the agent. Just going to change here. I have to copy the email. Okay, I am simply going to send the contact email. So AI will go into our spreadsheet, will look for this email, and once he finds it, he will do pretty much all the rest. He will gather all the context, right? Everything we have populated on those spreadsheet cells, and then based on that, he will draft something for us. He won't send though. He will just draft and pass it here. Let's run it. Let's look here. Boom. There it is. Let me open this a little. Okay, as you can see, we have here the status updated, and we have the email draft based on the context. Now we can come here, we can take a look at it, we can edit, we can tweak, we can do whatever it is that we want, and then we can send. Or we can even ignore completely this draft. This is just a draft. Pretty much everything that's here, we should look at them as just a draft. And just as I was listening to early on when we were talking about in the booth tools, we can ignore them. Like you were advised to use them only when you were in trouble. And we can do exactly the same thing with this. Just because it exists doesn't mean that we should completely rely on it, right? Without double checking, without editing. That's not what this is meant for. Now, the last agent that I would like to present to you is a team organizer. Now, what this team organizer does, let me just show you the payload that it's going to receive. Here. So, this is what we will be receiving. This agent receives a meeting request, right? Like event name, dates, format, language, location, domain, and some notes. We have a sample roster here. Now, just to let you a little bit more comfortable, these data here are completely fictional, okay? If you end up seeing your name here, don't worry, that's not you, okay? I just made them up. So, you have a simple roster here. So, the agent will receive the meeting request, then it will come to this roster, this small database, and will pick each and every one that's according to the meeting requirement and will assemble a team. And then it will propose the staffing plan here. It will update these sales. Event name, date, format, language, location, summary, team, alternates, pretty much everything that's here, okay? So let's run it. Send. Let's wait. There it is. Now, as you can see, once again, let's look at what the agent received. Simply this meeting request, and it did all the rest. Now, let's look at the cells that it populated. It's here, the event name, the dates, the format, language, location, the summary, the team. As you could see, we can see even names here. So according to what was the requirement, AI went there and picked. Oh, Martin speaks English. He's a senior. Okay, let me pick him up. Jackson Thompson. This one speaks another language. Okay, let's put them together. This is a proposed staffing plan. What AI proposed, and we have even here alternate people that can back up, right? If anything goes south, and we have questions. Now, according to the meeting requirements, what AI received, it was able to detect, wait a minute, there are some missing information. What is the exact rotation schedule planned for the 3.5-hour session? Will there be a dedicated booth manager or lead interpreter assigned for coordination? And so on and so forth. Everything is here. Now, again, just as I showed you previously, this is a highly controllable ambient agent. We tell him exactly what to do and how to do. From the prompt, the user prompt and the system prompt, we can craft and direct him. Even regarding how to structure according to our own preferences, for instance, or the way we would do something. We get to play with it, experiment, and get to a point where AI is giving us consistent results that we feel like, yeah, this is good enough, then we can use them. Again, it's not mandatory to follow what AI is throwing at us. We still get to decide, we still get to think if we should move forward with this or not. Now, the request I made when we started this part was to think, what if I could use an agent for my own personal use case? It might not be this. Everything that I showed you here might not be even interesting for some of you here, but that's not the goal. I just wanted to show you and tell you that The only limitation we have is our own imagination. And the less refusal, right, we are still in that denial phase. More willingness, the more willingly we are to experiment with these things and see what works, what doesn't, the better actually we can get out of it. We can take the most out of it just by experimenting. So I think at the end of the day, even if tomorrow we decide not to use any of this, at least we tried once. And we know exactly why we are not moving forward with this, right? So this is what I have for you. I hope you have enjoyed it and got exactly what I want to give to you.
Thank you, Gildo.
Gilda, that was very impressive. Thank you very much. The performance of the tool is, mind-blowing. Where will the data end up? And is anything I do with that data going to somewhere I don't have control of? And is it going to feed an AI machine that will at some stage gather all the data that I have fed it, that Giselle have fed it, that Monica has fed it, and will it then at some stage be in a position to help the secretary of my client to essentially cut me out and just do the job by herself?
That's actually... That's a great question. That's a great question. And I think it's really important for us, before we decide whether we are going to use these tools or not, these are questions that should be answered first, right? So basically, we get to decide where the data is going. If we are using a tool which is public, and of course, there are some tools that are public and they will say that if you subscribe to this tier, we won't share your data, we won't do this and that. But that's what they say, right? How much can we really trust them? I don't know. So we have this other option. If we want to trust them, we move forward and we start using this, believing that they won't use the data. But the safest path is having these agents run either on our own machine or on our own private server, right? Because we have control of everything we put in, and whether this data is going to appear or show up somewhere else, it would be only on us and not on other people. So it's really important to know like how to navigate this landscape, right? Try to answer these questions first. For instance, this tool, this is Make. This is a public tool. It's not running on my machine. Again, and I'm even using a free tier, so you have an idea. With a free tier, I can't really expect the data not to be shared, right? I could use a paid one. They will say they won't, but I mean, it is what it is. But that's really something that we should all take into consideration. And if at some point you feel like, yeah, I want to have my own server, I want to have these agents run on my local machine, but I don't know how to do it, well, there are people that can help you do that. That shouldn't be a reason for you not to move forward, right? Just because you don't want to deal with all this stress, that's not a valid reason. If you really want to move forward, but having in mind and making sure that your data will stay within your control, then you have other ways to actually do it.
We can take two more questions. And Chris, I think you had your hands up first, and then we'll have to decide between Martin and Rafael.
Gildo, thank you so much. You started the presentation saying this was like, it didn't take a whole lot of knowledge to code or something like that. Is this what is called vibe coding? And how can I learn more about these automations that you sequenced with AI? Like a mortal like me, I'm not like a developer, I'm me, little me. Thank you.
So, to start with vibe coding, this is a term that's been widely used. Vibe coding. What is vibe coding? It's basically going into a platform, giving it a prompt. Say you want to build a website, but you know nothing about coding. You're not a tech person. You go to this platform, you tell him, I want to build a website that does this, that has this information, and the platform will, within a few minutes, throw at you a fully ready website. You just vibe coded the website. You hadn't even to look at the code. You don't get to see the code. You just know that the website is here and it works. You can even do a few iterations to make sure, because sometimes AI, depending on the complexity of the job, it might not give you something fully ready on the first try. So you might have to tweak a few, like adjust here, I want this color here, I want this thing there, and then at the end of the day, you will have a fully ready website. This is what's called vibe coding. Now, regarding the automation, where can you learn about the automation? Actually, there is plenty of content. If you go on Google and just type automation, you will find a lot of things. You can go on YouTube, you will find a lot of stuff. Or if you want, and I mean, from this many things that you find, you can start experimenting yourself. For instance, if you open this platform, Make, they even have some tutorials on how to start, like your first AI agent. They can guide you through. So there are really a lot of ways you can learn about automation.
Hi, congratulations, very interesting. I have a comment to make and a question. A comment. Well, in your follow-up, you were going to ask the client about the number of interpreters and about the technical issues, but actually that should be your job, because the client is going to give you the shortest answer. 1 interpreter for 5 languages. And of course, the room is perfect, no technical glitch. So that was the comment. But then the question is, I don't know how long you have been using this for, and so I don't know whether you're able to reply to my question, which is, have you noticed any productivity gain? Were you able to run more business thanks to this? Or does it take actually the same to... So, oh, it hasn't. It hasn't. Oh, sorry, I missed that information. Oh, sorry. I didn't get that.
No, what I'm saying is that you use agents in your,
Yes.
company, so you might want to share your experience. This was done for Prims, but of course, you use agents, I assume, right?
Yes, yes, you do.
So
Yes.
those of you who were in Lima last January, will probably remember Avinash. Do you remember him? Those of you who were there? So I had lunch with him, let's say 3 months ago, and he was telling me how he created an agent for him, which is his opposite in everything. And he talks to the agent every day because he wants the agent to find out where he's wrong. So he says that now he's gotten into the habit of doing it so much that at the end of each day, he will talk to his opposite person. Like, I did this and I did that because of this. And then the agent will reply, blah, 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 like showing him where he could be wrong. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying we should do this. It's just for us to know that this is out there and that people are doing it and using it, and they might find it useful for them, so they go ahead with it. Or
All right. Shall we give one final round of applause for our speaker? Thank you so much, Gildo. And we have part 2 of the panel. So, Gilda, if you wouldn't mind sitting again, and our other 3 colleagues as well. And then we're going to go right to it because we promised 2 people to be first with questions. So, Monica, you still have to come. Yeah, Gildo. I know. I was just joking in the break, how many interpreters do you need to run a panel? So, Heidi, it's your turn. Yes. Too much excitement. Yes. Here you go.
Hello. Well, actually, I'm fine with starting now. So we do have all this controversy on what we use, where we use, when to use it, if we want to use it or not use it, and I'm stressing the it. But I have a problem with language. The way we name things, and that really pops in my head all the time, just like we call our profession an industry. So when you said, and I loved it when you explained, and you said that it's the human in the loop. And there's where that hits me. Yes, we are using it. It is helping us do things better. But I have a thing with saying human in the loop. It's basically the machine in the loop, not the human in the loop. And I really feel we're linguists, and we have to be so careful with how we use language and with the whole thing of artificial intelligence, starting with the term artificial intelligence that sends you to giving it human attributes and talking about hallucinations, which is, instead of saying mistakes or lies. So, no, not lies either, because it's human. So I really feel, and I want to put it on the table, and that's for everyone, we have to be very careful with the language we use and how we allow the language to be used. And you were saying he. It's not he, it's it. And actually, the person that was next to me, I said he, and he said, well, they. No, not they, it. That's my point.
Any of you want to respond directly to this comment? Yeah, Tomás?
Estoy completamente de acuerdo contigo. Y de hecho, me sorprende bastante que se diga, por ejemplo, también el intérprete aumentado, ¿no? O el ser humano aumentado. No, bueno, en primer lugar, no quiero que me aumentes tú. En segundo lugar, tendré que decidir yo y no tú si soy aumentado gracias a ti o no. No lo entiendo muy bien. Y después, lo que nos falta o nos olvidamos con la tecnología, yo creo, es que es la tecnología la que tiene que estar a nuestro servicio y no nosotros al servicio de la tecnología. Yo utilizar una tecnología que me ayuda en mi trabajo y que alivia realmente mi carga cognitiva, que eso no está demostrado con las Sky Tools, de acuerdo, pero ponerme yo al servicio de una máquina y corregir sus errores, prefiero cambiar de profesión, sinceramente.
Maybe just one clarification, because maybe I wasn't making myself clear. As CIs, what we have to do is we have to keep abreast of the latest developments. And so I am relatively well informed. Still, I don't like using it. But this is why I'm here, and we have to be able to consult our clients, give them the best advice. So we always have to be in the loop, in the know maybe even. that's just something I wanted to clarify.
Quizás para agregar un elemento importante, no sé si recuerdan la pandemia y la interpretación remota y la sensación que teníamos que nunca iba a volver lo presencial y todo lo que generaba tanto en sentimientos, emociones encontradas y obviamente debates y discusiones en diferentes mercados. Yo hice durante esos años de pandemia, yo trabajé en una tesis de maestría que hablaba sobre las condiciones laborales, sobre la interpretación remota. Y una de las conclusiones a la cual llegué ciertamente era que cuanto más tecnológico el espacio, más necesitamos de desarrollar nuestras habilidades blandas y más necesitamos de ese contacto humano. Y yo creo que lo hemos vivido después de la pandemia, la vuelta a la presencialidad y la necesidad real de crear conexiones más, no sé si más cercanas o estrechas con colegas o con clientes. Entonces, probablemente cuando tenemos ese temor y pensamos de que la tecnología nos puede invadir y conquistar y vamos a dejar de pensar, yo creo que en realidad el impulso es continuar sintiendo que somos cada vez más humanos y que se va a necesitar más cuanto más tecnología se ponga a nuestro servicio, porque es eso lo que va a ser la diferencia ante otras circunstancias y en otros entornos. Cuanto más valoremos, por ejemplo, en el caso de un correo que quisiéramos escribir a alguien porque falleció un familiar, un cliente, mi primera reacción ha sido, yo lo llamaría, no, para algo tan personal y tan profundo que requiere una conexión humana, no enviaría un correo, no se me vendría a la mente, es una primera reacción. Y yo creo que cada una de las personas en la sala puede entender en qué condiciones la tecnología puede ser útil y hasta agregar valor a nuestro servicio frente a cuándo, y sobre todo en un tiempo en donde la IA probablemente va a seguir desarrollándose, necesitamos de crear conexiones reales y más humanas.
Hi, Julia Poker. I just have a quick comment to follow on what Heidi just said and what Gildo said earlier before the break. Do keep in mind that the last person to touch anything is the one who bears the responsibility for it. So if AI is in the loop and you are the person after AI, check your contract that you are not bearing all of the legal liability for the work that then comes off of your hands, out of your mouth, or whatever else. Okay. Chris?
And given that my spouse has the mic, she's given it to me. Hi, I'm Chris. I'm very pleased with the turn the discussion has just taken, because I wanted just to take the floor for a second. I teach a lot, and I spent half my life with the new generation of interpreters. And I've been teaching a lot about RSI recently, and about the latest tools which we can use as far as I understand them. But that's not why I became an interpreter. I became an interpreter because I see this as an essentially empathetic exercise, vocation, whatever it might be. I became an interpreter because I think interpreting is enabling one human being to live life through the eyes of another human being. I don't think that binary data can do that. Now, binary data has a place. I worked all my career at NATO, interpreting budgets and radio frequencies. It can be indispensable. But we're indispensable because we're human beings, and we know what someone feels when they're inspired or appalled, and we should be able to transmit that. That's why I became an interpreter and why I remain an interpreter. It's just empathy. That's the primary skill I think we need as interpreters. And if we lose sight of that, we're really losing sight of the wood for the trees in the headlong rush which humanity is undertaking into AI. Because it's not politically correct to talk down AI these days, because it seems to be the panacea in every field of human endeavor. But I think we're shooting ourselves in the foot if we lose sight of the fact that we're human beings and we interpret other human beings. I run a refugee center, and when I speak about my refugee and asylum work, I often get interpreted. And I damn well want the interpreter to feel what I feel the inspiration, the fear, the hopes, and a machine can't do that. I've spoken too much, apparently.
Yes.
So, okay, sorry.
Maya, there's one question from Irina. She has been asking for, and then the final question again. Yeah. Irina.
First, I feel like I need to apologize for taking the floor for the, I think, third time, if not the fourth,
that's the last.
Today, and probably the last.
I'm sorry. You need to give the floor to other people.
Yes, for those who don't know me yet, if there are such people in the room, I coordinate the Science Hub. And the Hub helps us have a more productive relationship with new technologies and maybe ask more productive and more practical questions. So on the question of what skills and what areas seem to be, what skills AI seems to have better than us, very often people say empathy and they name other skills. And it turns out that empathy, feeling empathy, is really nothing unless you act on it. And human beings are not good at it. We're not as patient as AI, because AI has infinite patience. It will listen to you all night if you have something to tell it. And there are other skills where AI surpasses us, and they are sometimes intrinsically human skills. And it's surprising. Hence my question for Gilda. What skills make us indispensable? I just want to add that we recently had a conversation with Laura Keller, who investigates this area. And if anybody wants to read more, please go to our LinkedIn. Oh my God, a plug. I apologize again. That care, discernment, moral compass, and integrity seems to be the skills that AI cannot even fake. So my question for Gilda, what are other skills where we have a competitive advantage, we humans?
Well, I would to lean on those skills that you just mentioned. Like I can't really describe each and every one other skill where we as a human still have a competitive advantage. But just to add up, all these big companies developing AI, starting from OpenAI, and now we have other big names like Google, Anthropic, and even that company from Elon Musk, XAI. All of them are running, it's like they are rushing towards what they call AGI, which is Artificial General Intelligence. So this is a point where AI is supposed to surpass human beings in all aspects, Now, and I don't know how many of you have tried ChatGPT as soon as it was made publicly available back in late 2022. Now, for all of those, all of you that have tried ChatGPT back then and are still using ChatGPT now, can you notice a difference? So it makes us clear that all these big names, all these big companies, they are not backing up. I mean, there's still, of course, a lot of controversies, everything around that, but they don't actually care, right? They are really running, they want to make AI be so much more than human being. It's not the case now, and of course, all these skills like moral, even empathy, I still think that as human beings, we still have a competitive advantage because AI acts like it does exactly what we as humans tell him to do. when it comes to privacy, restricting a few contents. Back in the days, if you would ask ChatGPT to tell you how to make a bomb, it would tell you. Now you don't see it anymore because it was, right? So just to say that as of now, we still have this competitive advantage, but yet again, we can still use AI to help us do more, to help us be more. But so far, we're still human beings and are on top of the AIs, the existing AIs now. We don't know much about tomorrow, but this is what it is today.
Para contestarle a Irina, en una palabra, y no es algo que haya dicho yo, una palabra, no le he dicho todavía, lo que nos diferencia de la IA es la subjetividad. Es decir, que una palabra, subjetividad. Eso la IA no lo puede imitar por ahora. Y hay 3 tipos de IA. La estrecha, que se ha desarrollado hasta el final, la general, que todavía se está desarrollando, y la super IA, que es una hipótesis todavía. Y la única que podría competir con la subjetividad humana sería la super IA, ni siquiera la IA general. Y el resto, ¿qué es la IA? Son matemáticas computacionales. Y las matemáticas computacionales, te pongas como te pongas, hay muchísimas cosas del ser humano que no pueden imitar y que están todas relacionadas con la subjetividad. Y otra cosa, me sorprende que no se haya hablado ni de especulación todavía, ni de ecología.
So, Maya, there was one final question because, yeah. Then we'll give you the floor. Yes, we will, don't worry.
Hello, my name is Ellie Kelmels, and I'm from AIIC Spain. And I just wanted my comment to put things in a big picture perspective, because commenters today have repeatedly used the words human, and I know that a certain consultant interpreting group has a campaign about saying that that's our superpower, which I really like, by the way. But I'm mainly concerned about the overuse of AI causing our critical thinking skills to atrophy. And our brains are a muscle that needs to be maintained. And I also, Gilda's comment about the use of navigational AI tools made me think of the London cab drivers and their knowledge, which is apparently one of the hardest tests to pass in the world. You know, having to know exactly how to get from point A to point B in London, at what time, on what day, passing by which monument, et cetera, et cetera. And so that, in that industry, just like in ours, so much, if we do not maintain what we have in here, we will lose things. So in the big picture perspective, and I think we all agree that we live in very worrisome times, this atrophy of critical thinking skills is leading to a radicalization of thought. And I'm frankly a little bit concerned with some of the, yes, using AI tools with discernment and to alleviate our cognitive load, yes, but an over-reliance, frankly, is not just concerning for me as an interpreter, but as a human being and a member of today's society. Thank you.
Thank you. So one final question.
I have a very practical question for Gildo. Do you see any differences between the performance of paid ChatGPT, Gemini, or even, I think Bing is fed by ChatGPT? Anyway, those paid engines, the major ones, of course. I have never tested Grok, for instance, but which tool would you say is best for what, or what are the main differences that you see among the main paid versions? And I'm saying paid because I'm a paying user, because there is a very intelligent functionality on ChatGPT. You can simply toggle off the option to allow it to disable usage of your conversations to train
the model. So I have disabled that, and I insist on paying because of that. But do you see any differences between the main AI engines?
Yes, sure, I do. Let's start off with the difference between free ones and paid ones. And yes, usually the paid ones are better than free ones, even though at this point, with free ones, we're still able to do much depending on the work, what we want to do. But overall, paid ones tend to perform better. Now, differences between different like ChatGPT, Google Gemini, Anthropic, Claude, Sonnet. I would say that, but this is my perspective. What I would really advise is for try to give the same assignment to many different ones and then compare the results, right? I as a software engineer, I use Claude Sonnet or Opus, and this is from Anthropic. So back in the days when all these AI tools were coming out, they were almost all generalists, right? Know a little bit of everything. But later on, these companies, some companies decided to go towards more specific use case. And Anthropic, it specializes into coding. Of course, when it comes to writing and other things, as the model is so powerful, it can still excel at those, but their main focus is coding, programming. Now, ChatGPT, they tend to be more generalist, right? Know a little bit about everything. There is also one which is called, which is better for research. Now, Perplexity, exactly. Perplexity, yeah. For someone that's more into research and things like that, Perplexity is the best way to go because they are specializing in this specific use case. Yeah, so other than that, you just pick one assignment and try to fit into all different and see which result you feel is better for you or for that specific task.
Thank you very much. So there's a final round of questions. You have one question each and max 2 minutes, okay? Because we need to wrap up. There's one question from Slido, which I believe could be good for you, Monica. I think it's an easy one. Do we have to explain our clients if we use AI in the booth?
Yes.
Great. I mean,
confidentiality, trust, and integrity.
That's good. Then we have one question for Thomas.
I'm not yielding my time to Tomas.
Thomas, you've done a lot of research on data mining, cybersecurity, and intellectual property. Could you tell us a little bit more about it, and where do you see the risks and opportunities?
Para que estas tecnologías o la tecnología basada en la IA no nos cause ningún problema, pueda utilizarse de manera correcta, etcétera, lo más importante es lo que ya se dijo aquí, es decir, preferentemente hay que utilizar un servidor propio para controlar el tráfico de datos. Si se puede trabajar offline, es decir, sin conectarse a la red, mucho mejor, porque los problemas empiezan a surgir cuando pasa todo por el cloud. Y después, por supuesto, tener en mente que la IA sirve para muchas cosas buenas, como la medicina, la logística, etcétera, pero puede servir también para organizar ciberataques masivos, etcétera. Entonces, la ciberseguridad es un tema importante también. Y creo que hay que tener en mente que, a pesar de que sea un cambio real de sociedad, es un tipo de especulación también y no es una coincidencia si los grandes creadores de IA le tienen casi prohibido a sus hijos que utilicen esas herramientas.
Viviana, Last question. So can you, if you think about all the best practice examples for interpreters, AI applications outside the booth, which would you say yes?
Bueno, creo que sobre todo aquellas herramientas que hemos podido venir utilizando y que ahora han incorporado algún tipo de inteligencia artificial dentro de sus funciones. Mencioné hace poco Calendly, pero también puede ser Monday, que tiene ahora todo un sistema de gestión de clientes. Si ya la venimos usando, se puede hasta cierto punto utilizar. Yo tendría mucho cuidado en ese caso, nuevamente con el tema de confidencialidad, de qué tipo de datos se está gestionando a nivel de aplicativos específicos de inteligencia artificial, pero también Grammarly, por ejemplo, ahora está como invadida de diferentes opciones para el uso de inteligencia artificial. Probablemente, no sé si lo han escuchado, yo era mucho antiguamente de Evernote para poder buscar contenido y simplemente guardarlo. En algún momento también Pocket. Pocket dejó de existir, pero ahora tenemos Notion, que muchos colegas utilizan y que ciertamente también tiene dentro de sus diferentes potencialidades el uso de inteligencia artificial. Yo creo que esas opciones deberían de ser analizadas individualmente y ver qué elementos podrías incluir, y ciertamente hay muchos de esos programas que pueden seguir funcionando, yo diría sobre todo para tareas que son muy repetitivas y que no necesariamente tengan que ver con información confidencial. Yo creo que todos tenemos el ADN y sabemos claramente qué cosa queremos que sea público o no, qué cosa es importante mantener. Yo no utilizaría, por ejemplo, o lo pensaría muchísimas veces, comprar o de repente algún servicio pagado para poder gestionarlo internamente, mis finanzas, detalles de gestión interna, números, contabilidad. Es algo que, por ejemplo, no he visto, no he escuchado a nadie hablar al respecto, pero que podría, para otra persona que quizás está empezando y quiere tener ideas sobre cómo trabajar con, por ejemplo, plantillas de NDAs o de acuerdos, simplemente para dar una idea de qué podría funcionarle en un idioma que no es el suyo, pero contextualizarlo a su propio mercado, y yo diría sobre todo consultar al especialista, en ese caso a un abogado o alguien que lo asesore, porque de nuevo hablamos de la importancia de trabajar y seguir dando la posibilidad de trabajar con personas. Yo creo que es importante que valoremos también el trabajo de otros profesionales. No voy a reemplazar a mi abogado ni a mi contador en ningún momento porque tengo una aplicación que me puede ayudar. Es simplemente una base de referencia en la que puedo buscar información y luego voy a ir a asesorarme por un especialista.
Thank you. Gildo, now you have met all these wonderful interpreters. It was a dive into the world of interpretation. Now you've heard all of them give their and share their thoughts. Any last things you really, really want to share with us? Hearing all of these, they're eager to hear your wisdom, so go ahead.
Well, I'm going to try to be brief this time. Something I would really encourage everyone to think about is that we should really stop looking at AI as a competitor. AI is not here to replace us. Many of us may tend to think like that. So the earlier we get familiar with AI, the better. Because when that time comes where people that don't use AI are actually being replaced by AI, when that time comes, I don't know when, but it will come. That's just my perspective, okay? Then we are ready for that. And to start off, I would say that let's just give it the benefit of the doubt, right? Let's just play with it. Let's have fun with it. Let's be like kids when they go into a candy shop or a toys shop. Let's be curious. Let's play around, and we will find out. We will, sooner or later, we will decide what we really want to do, whether we want to pursue it and like get better and better at using AI, what we should use it for, what we shouldn't use it for. But let's just have fun. Let's not be that serious about it. Of course, there are some serious questions that we should be concerned about. But overall, let's just try to have fun with it. I think that's the best we can do now.
Well, that was the final sentence. Thank you, everyone, to our wonderful panel. Thank you to our colleagues. We have a small thing for you.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We also would like to thank the interpreters, all the volunteers who helped us today and will help us tomorrow as well. Now, it's been a long day. It's been a long day. One reminder actually, one information rather. Tomorrow morning there's a marathon here. So some of the streets will actually be blocked, I think. The marathon should last till 1 p.m., I think. So just take this into consideration when you're doing your travel arrangements to go to the airport or take the train, okay? We'll see you tomorrow here at 9:30. Enjoy your evening. Thank you.